G'day folks, and welcome to part 6, where we highlight another 10 of the amazing macro critters, better known collectively as the small stuff. We'll check out some nudies, some flatworms, and a load of beautiful small fish. Coming in at 51, the headband headshield slug. Slug! Not very flattering, and inornate at that. I'd say those tiny white spots and dashing head stripes are pretty ornate, but that's just me. These guys eat tiny flatworms that live on the hard corals. 52 is the spectacular dusky Nembrotha nudibranch, Nembrotha kumbayana. For the non-nudie nerds out there, nudibranchs are snails without shells. Nudibranch means naked gill, which is the frilly bit on their back. The other fancy bits are called rhinophores, which are their smelling organs, which they can retract if attacked. They eat toxic ascidians, but not these guys, I guess, and they can store the toxins in their skin for their own defense. At 53, the heron nudibranch, Artiodorus egretta, is a head flapper with flowing white gills and rhinophores. They like marching around the sandy slopes, sniffing out sponges to eat. 54, a celebration of flatworms. Colourful slugs that usually crawl on the bottom. Most species mimic toxic nudibranchs, and if you're lucky, they'll get up and swim. They are often mistakenly called Spanish dancers. This is a Spanish dancer, Hexabranchus sanguinensis, which are actually huge nudibranchs. Flatworms, though, are much more graceful and directional in their swimming. 55, the long-arm octopus can almost disappear into the sand and seagrass. Their long arms explore down holes for gobies and other critters to eat. They lay flat and mimic flounders when they swim. 56, red spot nudibranchs, Gymnodorus ceylonica. These are predatory nudibranchs with an appetite for sea hares. These crazy critters make a dash for the shallow seagrass meadows, where they get into massive orgies, laying and fertilizing their egg masses. 57. Microgobies. Microgobies are a group of 100 or so species whose names start with Eviota or Trimmer. These beautiful tiny fish are common as dirt. Have a squiz at all the microgobies in this shot. They are among the world's smallest vertebrates and have the shortest lifespans. Some species only live weeks or months. You'll see them come out of the nooks and crannies of any spot you choose to stop and stare. And you'll see them apparently rap battling if you wait a minute. 58. Beautiful dartfish. There are two common species in the Solomons. The fire dartfish is the most common, especially in the shallows, and usually hangs in small groups. Deeper down the walls, in patches of sandy rubble, you'll find the decorated dartfish, Docora. You'll need lights to see these colours, and if you get too close, you'll see why they're called dartfish. These jumpy little characters remind us that even beautiful things can have resting sad face. 59. Striped triple fins, are territorial little beauties that mouth off to neighbours to establish their spot. On their perch facing into the plankton bearing current, the lightning reflexes of these ambush predators makes short work of any tiny critters that get too close. Number 60 is the chinstrap jawfish, Opistognathus wassi. This little champion is pretty common on the sand and rubble slopes, but didn't even get an official name until 2023. Jawfish build their own burrows, reinforced with rubble and shells. They are highly paranoid and hyperactive, but maybe they need to be. They share the sand slopes with goatfish and their home wrecker barbels flicking about willy-nilly. On the lookout for danger while also grabbing passing plankton lickety-split. Jawfish are always on their toes and ready for anything. Well, that's it for this one. Stay tuned for another 10 reasons to visit the Solomon Islands.